All right, today let's talk about some of our most popular tournament formats and maybe have some helpful tips on how to do them the best, how to execute them the best.
Absolutely.
What do you have for us?
So the first one I want to talk about was Scramble. So
Okay.
Scramble, it's actually the best event to be in because there's the least amount of pressure in it.
I love a scramble.
Scrambles are
I don't
awesome,
mind it. I don't
right?
mind it.
Absolutely. So my suggestion when it comes to if you're in a two-person scramble is to allow the person that's not as confident about the shot that's coming up to go first.
Okay.
It alleviates a lot of pressure from that person because she'll feel like she has her partner coming behind her, so she can kind of let it go and she knows someone's coming behind her. But what it's even better is that if she hits a decent shot up there, it puts even more confidence in the better player that's coming behind for that particular shot. And it might not always be the same. Maybe one partner is really good at driving, so the weaker driver will kind of bunt one down the middle of the fairway, and then the more confident driver can now wail on one because we got one in play.
Yeah.
But then maybe that one who bunted it down the fairway is really, really good at bunker shots. So then the other player would then go first for the bunker shot. So always allow kind of the weaker player when it comes to that particular shot to go first, and then the stronger player to go second.
I love that because we always have our order when in a scramble, like, okay, I'm going to go first, you're going to go second, but sometimes it's okay if that order changes. You're saying depending on the shot.
Yep.
You know, so with Molly, who I play most of my tournaments with, she'll usually drive first and I'll go second. But then there's shots that I feel, like you said, less confident in, that I should actually step up and do that first, which probably we've never done before. You know, we just usually keep that same order throughout.
Exactly right, yeah.
I like that.
Cool.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so next we have match play. So match play is a great event because the cool thing is you're only playing one hole at a time.
Yes.
You're trying to win each hole or lose each hole. So that means that you can have a blow-up hole. So if you have a blow-up hole and you have a really bad hole, it gives you an opportunity to kind of erase the whiteboard and go on to the next hole. Those mistakes you made on there. So match play is great about that. The other thing that's cool about match play is that the person further from the hole will go first, and then the person closer will go second. This comes up with maybe an advanced strategy, but you might be able to use it in certain situations. Tiger in match play events used to actually if his partner hit a driver off the tee, he would purposely hit a 3-wood, so he was slightly farther away from the green, so that when he hit his shot up to the green, he would knock it really close and put all the pressure onto the opponent.
Can't we all just aspire to be that confident? Please, just one day. You know what?
Exactly right.
My next match, I'm going to go out there saying just be as confident as Tiger.
That's
you
right.
know?
That's
I
right.
love
So
it.
kind of a cool little strategy that, you know, it might not always work out, but yeah, remember that the person farther is always going first. So if there is an opportunity that you can be maybe slightly farther than your opponent and knock it really close, you'll put extra pressure on that opponent.
Yeah, and I'm even in a singles match before, if I felt a hole was going downhill fast and my opponent is in good shape, sometimes I'll just be like, let's go to the next hole. You know, like it's sometimes just better to just move on.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
And that's the beauty of match play too.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Actually, now going into best ball.
Okay. Yep.
Similar thought process. A lot of times you have a partner and you don't want to let them down, and let's say you have a really bad hole, right?
Yeah.
Well, this hole is going to be your partner's hole. But like match play, you get to erase the whiteboard and you go into the next hole being able to contribute on the next one. And instead of thinking to yourself, oh, I'm letting my partner down, I'm not doing so well today, think about it this way. My next hole is going to be mine. The next hole is going to be the one that I'm going to be contributing to.
Yeah.
Always trying to get it back into that positive mentality, because once again, in best ball, we're only counting one ball. So some of the holes might be your partner's ball, and then some of the holes it might be your ball.
Yeah.
So if this isn't your particular hole, erase the whiteboard and the next hole is going to be yours.
Yeah, and that's such a good point to make, because we all go out there in these tournaments, and most of them are partner events, and we all want to do our best. We all show up wanting to do our best, and to apologize for hitting a bad shot and to feel bad, you got to let that go.
Exactly
It's
right.
just energy that's unnecessary. We all know as a partner that we're trying our best, and you know, we're not that 2%. Unfortunately,
I know,
we're
right?
part of that 98% that we talked about earlier.
And then on that point too, I think is a good point. A lot of times when we play that bad shot or we have that bad hole, we want to apologize.
Yeah.
The reason why you shouldn't do that is because apologizing for it and getting really upset about that kind of internally is actually decreasing your chances that you're going to be helpful to your partner later.
Yeah.
So replace "I'm sorry" with "I'm going to get it on the next hole. I'm going to be there." So kind of constantly being your own personal cheerleader and saying, "I'm going to be there on the next hole." Even if it's been 15 holes and you haven't contributed once, hey partner, these next 3 holes, I'm coming in for you. So always kind of get back to that.
I mean, you're a team.
Exactly right.
And even if you're the player that's playing well, you have a responsibility too to be there for your partner that might not be as playing as well, and to just be a source of good energy to enjoy the day.
Exactly
you know?
right.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that last format that you don't see a ton of, but that where it's a partner event and both balls count. And really, you could put it in a spin of just a stroke play tournament too if you're by yourself. So what kind of tips do you have for us then?
Yeah. Kind of going on to staying positive, playing each shot and trying to make each shot as good as it can possibly be. So going into each shot and saying, how good of a shot can this be? Doesn't mean that you have to take an aggressive route every single time. It might be a conservative management strategy, but then try to hit that shot as good as you possibly can. And then also remember, both balls count, your score is going to count no matter what. So if you're putting for a double bogey or a triple bogey, you got to finish it out. Make every shot count, because making it a triple instead of a quadruple might actually make a difference, because this same pressure is being applied to every player throughout this entire format. You're not the only one that is feeling nervous in here. So we actually had a tournament recently where there was both balls count, and the numbers that came in were astronomically high, like 10s and 11s and 12s being made on that hole because the pressure was high on that particular hole. So if you're making a 6 or a 7 or an 8 on a hole, that might be actually a really good score. So if you're going for your triple or your quadruple, make every shot count and make every shot as good as it can possibly be.
Meaning like that quadruple putt that you have, or your putt for double.
Right.
Still take the time. Still don't just get frustrated and start whacking it all over the place. Really give it the time and the attention that it deserves.
Because in the end, that triple bogey that you made might have won you the tournament because it wasn't a quadruple.
Exactly.
So every shot counts in this format.
And just touching on the fact of not giving up. I mean, seriously. I have seen some players that have gotten big scores and still managed to squeak out a win, and it's like, what a shame it would have been if they just threw in the towel and had the efforts, if you know what I mean. I know it's not a family program.
Right.
So,
love that.
All right, thanks Justin.